Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are
the Carbonation Conversation.
Reviewing Archive 81, Episode 7.
The Ferryman.
Thank you for joining us once again on this journey. We are almost finished here, and as long as I'm concerned, I'm fucking loving it, you know what I mean? But before we get into this episode, always, first and foremost, shout out to Mo Beats 89. If you like what you hear in the background as far as music production and audio editing, don't ever hesitate to hit up Mo Beats 89 in the description below. If you want to check out some of his work, he has been posting like crazy at Mo Beats 89 on YouTube, so you can definitely check out his beats and everything. And as always, we appreciate the downloads, over 100 downloads in 30 days on all platforms. I see someone out there is listening to Alexa. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting like 12% Alexa listening, and I'm just like, okay, Alexa, can you put on the Carbonation Conversation? Hopefully my Alexa can hear that shit right now. We'll be hearing each other in the background. But thank you once again, as always, and we're kicking it old school. I'm just going to call this broke week, right? You know, we're a little bit po. So we got some old school Keystone Light.
Keystone Light. And I still did some research.
Happy New Beer. Why don't you tell us about this beer that we usually drink all the fucking time?
All right. Keystone Light was made in 1989 and is a product of Coors.
Okay.
It's described as a light-bodied, crisp, refreshing beer that is always smooth. It's 4.1%.
Oh, cool. You know, and it's actually, really good. I do prefer light beers because I'm a light guy, a little tiny guy over here. And, it's smooth going down. It's really to me, you got a party where you want to last about 8 hours. Right. You know what I mean? You don't want to get no IPAs, no real hard-ass beer.
Not even Modelo or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You kill a couple of Keystones and you're good. Hell, not a couple, about, hell, 6-pack you can kill and you should be good. And as always, we're going to do our little shout-out.
Thank y'all for listening.
Exactly. And I'm actually going to do this shout-out. Let's take it first and then I'll announce what the shout-out is about since it's in our hands anyway. Ooh, that one went down the wrong pipe. Jesus. This shout out is dedicated to Mo Beats and Uran Kabashi because this Sunday, April 10th, they are doing their album release, Smashing Buttons 2, Beat Tape Heroes, which is a retro theme and hip hop mixture of all of the favorite beats that we used to play as far as video games as a kid. They got Donkey Kong, Mario, all that shit. So
Mortal Kombat,
pretty much. So we are definitely excited. We cannot wait till the album release. Hopefully, maybe even towards the end of our shows, they may, maybe we'll ask Mo to do a little sample of whatever beat it is from that album. But now, let's talk about Archive 81.
Yes.
After my boy, Dan went all fucking crazy in the last episode, which I even told you didn't really remind me of himself this whole series.
Yeah.
We do get a brief, intro like they have been doing. And it speaks about the comic.
Yeah.
Karan's, is it Karan's comic?
I think it's Karan.
Karan. But yeah, basically like every 70, years, Earth, we get to see a comet, circling Earth. I really don't know if that's true, but if that's true, that's pretty cool. Yeah. You get to see a comet every 70 years, and for whatever reason, this comet broke apart, or a little bit of the comet broke apart.
It was saying that apparently that years ago it was one, and then it separated, and one part crashed to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was named for the ferryman of Hades.
Yes.
Who carries the souls of the dead across the river Styx.
Yeah.
It was first discovered in 1784. And like you said, suggested it was a cosmic pair.
So this comet, pretty much every 70 years, this same comet has been traveling around Earth, and then a piece of it broke off, hit Earth, and that's where you get Carinite.
Carinite.
Yeah, Carinite. And it's so interesting. You think of us human beings having technology, being super advanced. This is the type of shit that they were doing. Like, it's interesting how you can just look at a comet, and Iris does speak on it a little bit later in the episode, but it's just like, oh, look at a comet. That's Hades. And you can come up with a whole scenario, story, religion. It's just really interesting how that was. Obviously, we're technology.
Well, of course, you know how it
now,
is. Whoever discovers a thing gets a name out of it.
Yeah,
you know
and man, and especially back in that day, you can come up with a whole motherfucking story. I'd be like, hey, you see that rock over there? That's Elijah. You know what I'm saying? That rock over there is Elijah. He was the goddess of poo-poo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, Dad, he has a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, he hears
Melody's voice.
Yeah, goes into his bathroom, looks in the mirror, sees what I can only imagine is, because he's looking at himself.
Yeah,
and himself shows teeth.
He shows teeth, and it's the mold.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was like, okay, it could have either been blood. It reminded me of Fight Club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was the damn mold.
Yeah. Wakes up from the dream, and he immediately gets up, goes to LMG. Not even a phone call, my dude. Nope. Goes to LMG. Goes to see Virgil. Virgil is obviously not there. He's even rude to the fucking secretary. Like, bro, what she got to do with
I know, right?
He's like, let me motherfucking talk to Virgil right now.
She's being all nice.
I know.
Okay.
And, I'm thinking we about to see him. This is going to be a face-to-face confrontation, but no, Virgil.
You knew it wasn't going to be.
He has a saddle. He's
white. No.
He's the video. It's basically just a video call, and what Dan is pretty much asking is he's asking for answers.
Yeah.
He's like, hey.
Yeah, he tried to tell Dan that he passed out from exhaustion, and Dan's like, bullshit.
Yeah, because he's like,
what
was this area that I went to? It looked just like the same sacrifice area that was in the video. Like, really, what the fuck is going on? Are you trying to see what Samuel was about? Are you trying to do the same thing? Like, Dan is just asking him like 50 million questions, and Virgil asks is just like, hey, they said you were hallucinating when they found you. Just so you know, my dude, you damaged a lot of shit.
And just because you think you got all our cameras, we still had that recorded.
And not only that, we paid you still.
Right.
So that $100,000 that you got in your account right now. So
to take your money.
You know what I'm saying?
Go back to
ahead
your
and
life.
Do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing.
Or we press the charges. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, Virgil. It's basically checkmate at this point.
Right.
And so
Dan runs outside, going, fuck! Outside, just screams his guts out and shit, out of frustration.
I know. I was like, yep, that's that Dan that I've been wanting to see. Anyways. He goes home, and at first he thinks somebody is breaking into his apartment.
Either that or has something to do with Virgil or something.
So he proceeds to go in slowly, and he sees somebody, they ass it, now kind of rummaging
in the closet
through,
and shit.
And he goes, Mark? Now, I'm not going to lie at this point. I haven't seen episode 8. My wife has, even though I put her on this 3 days
She just started watching it, right?
3 days ago, watching it on the goddamn train. Yeah, I'm putting you on blast. But anyways, like, I thought Mark, if he was a bad guy, played it off well. Because when Dan was like, Mark, and Mark kind of gave him that look, and he was kind of looking aside, he's like, oh, you're safe, you're back. And he gives him a hug. I know this heat is on a lot in my crib right now. I'm going to turn this shit off as we speak, because I'm pointed to you as far as the Mark and Dan conversation after that. Give me a second.
I didn't think that any intention of that being bad with Mark. Truthfully, he thinks Dan is still at the compound, and he just probably was just so surprised to see Dan there. Technically, you know what I mean? Because Dan was
back.
Because he wasn't allowed to go into the compound to see Dan or nothing.
Yeah.
So this technically was like the first physical contact they were able to have, except for that one time at the restaurant.
And it looked like he was about to give him a big ass hug. I really thought that was gonna happen. It didn't happen. What we find out is Mark was looking for. I was trying to think of the name for that fucking thing, but not Googling it because I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's the real thing that you put the film on.
Yeah.
He was like, this is actually what I was looking for. And what ends up happening is Mark shows him the entire, sorry, burping from the beer, the entire William Crest collection. And he basically tells him that unfortunately you were right last episode because I said Evie had a stroke. I thought she was still like on her deathbed. And you were like, oh, she died. No, she did die. And basically he doesn't tell him where he got it from, but he just says, hey, William Crest was interested in the Voss Society. The Voss Society started after World War I. It was run by brothers Jonah and Lucas and their sister Iris. Basically their mission, they did a lot of fucked up shit. They were dark magic.
He was
sacrifice.
he even told Dan that film can catch things human eye couldn't see.
And basically their goal was to bring the entity Kalego from another dimension to our dimension. That's basically the Voss cult society.
Well, of course.
mission.
Then you find out later, we'll talk about, of course, what the real reason was, which is kind of like messed up. You know?
And so, you know.
So, he also shows Dan, the William Crest collection. He said, tells of the Voss Society. Like you said, so then they start watching the video. Is that what it is?
Yes. Wait. No.
He shows the photographs.
Show the photos.
That's what it is. Right. That's what I meant. Shows the spirit photos. Right.
And they look, and that's when you are right. You mentioned that Mark says, "Hey, some people believe." I mean, hell, we were just talking about. I was just mentioning the ring and all of that shit. Like certain people feel like things can be captured in another world, and That's interesting.
It is.
That's all I can say. Back in the day when there was no technology, who am I to say that motherfucker who was saying that Quran comet was waving through was the actual shit? Like, I don't fucking know. Yep. And so then they proceed to watch the film.
First, he shows in the picture of the Voss family, he recognizes Iris from Annabelle's paintings in the
because
in the
Mark
videos.
is like, did it look like the same thing? Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention. We totally forgot to mention. Dan shows Mark the tapes of Bellows. He actually shows him the recordings. And then he asks Mark. Mark asks Dan like, "Hey, is this the same photo you saw when he recognizes Iris?" And Dan is just like, "I don't know, but I do recognize Iris. That this is the same chick that Annabelle was drawing." And basically he's saying like, hey, William Crest was so obsessed with them after he saw the snuff film, which we later find out is the sacrifice film to Rose. And he was just focused. So they decide to pretty much watch the tape. Now, our guys have done this before with the Melanie exclusive episode. We can say, was it the previous episode? Was it kind of like the Melanie
one of those
exclusive one?
I don't know if it was the previous one, probably one before.
The one before, okay.
Dan didn't come out to the end. It was like you saw flashes of Dan.
Yeah, exactly. So they kind of do this the same way. We don't know if... I am led to believe at this point that Dan and Mark are watching all of this.
Not all of
this.
No. They're basically giving us the background.
Okay. And they're just watching the sacrifice video by the time they get there. Okay, good shit. And
so they just want to give us background. So the show takes us back to 1924
in New York. Gangsta shit.
Right. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah. Dude, I've almost fucking killed this Keystone. See what I'm saying? But go ahead.
And that's when we meet Rose.
Yeah, and the family.
Who's interviewing with Iris for a job.
Yes.
To work in the mansion that they live in and stuff.
What we find out about Rose is that as she's interviewing, her family has all died. They died from typhoid flu, which I did a quick Google. Not a lot, but a quick Google. Contamination of food. I can see on the boats, maybe rats, all that shit. Back in the day,
or even you're on these mold even, or you know what I mean, old food.
Back in the day, y'all were good in the gods and the entities.
People didn't clean shit.
Hygiene, y'all lacked a lot.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
So during the interview, I guess she opens a music box that's playing the song.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, was that
yes,
same too?
the prayer.
Yeah, because
quote,
she's
unquote.
interviewing Rose, and she's asking Rose questions, and Rose is eyeing that music box, and she says, "Oh, this my dad gave me this. It's funny that you're looking at that," and she plays the fucking tune. I thought Rose was gonna get sick like Melody. That's what I originally thought when she first heard the tune.
Maybe that's because she was looking at her like trying to
get a
gauge, like see what she,
it's gonna, but go ahead.
But then, then she tells her, Iris tells Rose, you can hold a whole new world inside of you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And then boom, you just right away like, oh shit, she's gonna be the sacrifice.
Yep, that's so true. And as much as they made me want to feel for Rose, I didn't really feel for Rose. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we already knew what's going to happen.
Just because of that, but I still kind of felt for her. She was kind of an innocent girl and all that stuff.
Yeah, she even asked Rose, too, like, hey, you in the religion? Because she's trying to gauge her and everything. And like you said, she asked her, hey, I think you're special. You're special, Rose. You're special. I think you can have the whole world inside of you. And like you said, that triggers. And I'm just like, at this point, what the fuck happened to Jess?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, because isn't this 25 years later? Like, when actually Dan is watching, like, what the fuck happened to Jess, my dude? Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, they go downstairs because
the brothers get home.
And I couldn't tell from, yes, you're right. I couldn't tell which
shaking
from
your head
which.
like, no.
No. I couldn't tell which from which, but we do find out later from what Iris tells to the people that Lucas was the one who found the statue. Right. And what we see as the statue is Kalego. So I'm automatically like, oh, these motherfuckers are trouble.
Yeah.
They are trouble, you know what I mean? And she's like, hey, Rose can see this. She's family now.
Right.
Oh, the other girl, she had to do some education, so she went to a college. I'm just like,
Right.
And basically, they're happy because this is the first. I don't know where they got it from, but this is the Kalego, basically, statue. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, if I am wrong, Iris, Iris and Rose are having a discussion, but there's also a dinner party, right? And
this is basically where she's telling Rose about the Caronite pendant.
Yeah, because Rose is looking at her necklace and everything.
Tells her about the comet, and it'll be close enough soon to see.
Now, here's the thing.
This was before the party, because the party comes after.
Yes, exactly, you're right. Now, here's the thing what so kills me about this. Iris believes that the comet is a celestial being, that it has the answers to everything, including another world. That is some wild shit from just a comet. Obviously, we're in 2022. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have science and all that shit.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that's just interesting. And for all intents and purposes, we don't even fucking know right now if that's true.
Right,
but damn, that's interesting.
She's getting all this from the Baldong book.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what she's getting all this stuff, how to do everything, So and she's telling her we're going to have a party to celebrate the good luck and fortune that the comet will bring us.
Yes, but meanwhile, I want you to come down to this party that I have real quick, right here. And and at first, I thought that was the party that she was referring to. I honestly thought it was because it was just so confusing. Like, she's talking to Rose, and then she's having a party downstairs, and she's talking about another party. She brings Rose down. Yeah,
that was just like a little dinner party at the main party. Mm-hmm. But she also mentioned about how the comet being close is also a thinning of the veil between the worlds. So that's why the comet has to be close in order to do
what she needed to do. Okay, that's interesting. Man, this fucking Bodong book, they got the good shit. They got like specific fucking instructions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so basically we see Iris go down, and she's talking to the guests that she has before the actual party. And she is actually repeating, I fucking wrote it down.
And the girl named Emma Trilling.
Yes, Emma talks to her, and she's like, "Hey, Lucas didn't tell you that I was coming. Oh, I'm sorry." And then Emma is intrigued because she's just like, "Hey, I'm really interested to know, and I really want to be a part of your society." And Iris seems receptive.
Yeah,
she seems like, "Hey, you will."
She's a poet, apparently.
Yes. And so Iris goes on stage, and she starts talking in another language. Now, she does this twice.
They send all the help away.
Yes.
So Rose is forced to leave and all
Supposed to leave.
She doesn't want to, you could tell.
Happy New Beer.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what Iris says in another language, as one of her brothers is doing the pictures that Dan and Mark sees before they...
Right. She unveils the statue to everybody.
Yeah. So what she says is... I wrote this shit down. That's right. So it says, the two worlds is one. When the night sky burns, we call to you, Kalego. Lay the ground with your blood. There will be but one. Shall you hear us, Kalego? As one of her brothers is taking pictures.
And everybody else is right, chanting at them.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, this shit looks a little bit wild, especially for back in the day. And
then you see that Rose is watching.
And the maid is trying to protect her. You see the maid is the leash. She on the outside.
Get out of there.
She's like, hey, you're not supposed to be paying attention to this motherfucking business right here.
So they develop those pictures, and they start to see an image in the background. So they're all kind of like, oh my God.
And she does mention, she's like, and what do you think it would look like if we got this shit on video? Right. That's what she does mention that.
Imagine if it was on film.
Mm-hmm. So the maid does find Iris unwell, and I was a little bit confused at this scene. She walks in, Iris is kind of on the floor.
You mean when Rose found her?
Rose
finds her bleeding.
Yeah,
on the
and
floor.
I was just like, damn, okay, that's how. That's what she was bleeding. I couldn't even tell.
She was bleeding.
She was bleeding.
She was bleeding, and the doctor says if she continues to try, she will die.
Mm-hmm. So she's definitely trying to have a baby. Right. And that's when she really, really talks to Rose about Kalego.
Exactly.
And
how he can heal and change things.
I find it that all these gods, and I don't mean to poo-poo on Christianity or anything, they're all the same. Because she literally talks about a God that can give her a baby, a God that can take her to another world,
bring Rose's family back and all that.
And it's just like, hey, bro, ain't that Jesus' dad? Because I'm just saying.
I don't even think that's Jesus' dad. He never promised shit like that. The devil did.
I mean, well, at least when we die, he promised that we would all be together as long as your ass. Yes, that is true. As long as you were good. As long as you were good. That is true. That is true.
I'm going to come to your world and save everybody.
We just go snap and do the multiverse real quick. And so Rose is receiving all this information. And she's just like, that guy kind of sounds like a dream. That's the only thing she can muster up as a response when the motherfucker is talking to you about a whole different God, and do you want to worship it? It's kind of like, oh, that sounds cool.
Right. Yeah.
Scientology sounds interesting. and she you can really tell that fucking Iris she really wants this baby. Because that's, she's just like, hey, I've been worshiping this God, and I was hoping that he would give me this baby.
And to me, that's where I realized that this was the whole point from the beginning. It was her greediness of wanting to have a baby. I don't want to say greediness because, you want to have a baby, but you're bringing a lot of people down with you so you can have a baby.
Bro, isn't that always
That's
how
so
it
crazy.
is?
You thinking, I want to save the world. And it always comes down to something like this.
Yeah, something personal.
You know what I mean? Something personal. One person, and you're making everybody see, you're leading everybody to believe this is for the better of the world.
And that's
for
what
everybody.
Lucas definitely confronts her about this. But before he does.
The next day,
No, it's not the next day. It's the night.
Is that the night?
Yes, the night because Rose wakes up.
Okay, right. I couldn't.
Wait. No. Go what you were gonna say because maybe I'm wrong.
Because I thought when they were talking about the whole Kalego thing, I thought that was night already. So I thought it was like the next. I think that was night. So the next day.
Okay. Go ahead.
You know, she's cleaning the crib, Rose.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Rose is like scrubbing.
Yep, you're
mold.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Happy New Beer on you for mentioning that shit. I be so excited sometimes.
I see. You just want past shit. Jesus.
But did I do that last episode? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Iris finds Rose cleaning mold. Then she stops her. And she believes that the mold is the body and blood of Kalego coming through the other world.
Yes. And for all intents and purposes, it's true, right? I mean, technically, right? It is Kalego reaching out because even the maid is just like, hey, I've been trying to get rid of this for like since you've been knocked the fuck out and had your little crisis upstairs, and it keeps coming. And Iris does recognize, she's like, holy shit, maybe this is Kalego speaking out to us.
Right.
Obviously, he's from another world. He can't really, come like this, so he has to produce something vile. Because that's what it looks like to me, right? Something vile, poisonous, symbiotic.
Blood and body.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Basically. And she's just like, no, don't clean that up. We all good in the hood, bro. We all good in the hood. And at this point, she is hyped. At this point, I believe, isn't this the basically the concert, the comic concert?
This is when this is at night. Then Rose wakes up coughing. She's wake up coughing and stuff, and then she goes out and she finds Emma the poet trying to take the book, the Baldung book.
And Emma even explains to her, she's just like, hey, did she say you can
have did she promise you this? Did she promise you?
You need to come with me right now. And they confront her. And what we find out is Emma is from a previous, maybe a past covenant. And she kind of tells her, like, you got all these like movies that start off with, we tried to use this power,
right?
But we couldn't control it, and a lot of fucking people died. So we need to protect it, and you, antagonist, though you can't control it. And basically, Iris like, what that do? And Jonah, the other brother, fucking kills Emma. He shoots her.
Yeah, because Iris calls her a Baldung and everything. Jonah comes in and shoots her ass, and Iris is like, "Why'd you do that? We needed her."
Yeah. Now, so I'm a little bit confused because I'm like, is Baldung the book too?
No, Baldung is the witch
that is needed.
No, Baldung is the coven.
Okay, Baldung is the name
coven.
of the coven.
So any one of them are Baldung.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Kills her. And Lucas, for all intents and purposes, he thinks this is too much. After, I don't know what they did previously, but if Mark is telling Dan that they sacrificed people, Lucas, this is enough, my dude. Like,
right? Like now it's enough.
Okay,
right.
And he's curling.
Well, because now
I
would say like now he's actually seeing somebody get killed. You know what I mean? It was one thing to think of an idea, but actually see it and go through with it is another thing.
Okay. I'll give Lucas that sliver of an
Now we go to the comment party. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I would say Iris, fucking bitch ass switcheroo motherfucker. Like she has Rose all just doll up. Putting a necklace on her, give her the music box.
First she finds Rose praying, which she didn't like. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be worshiping Kalego here.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was like, I wonder for the split second was Iris like, dude, we're gonna kill you. That's how you with that Bible. Yeah, that Bible. Anyways, they go downstairs. They're enjoying the party. They're having a good time. This is actually the first time I actually the necklace on Rose. I was like, holy shit, she even gave her the
she gave her the necklace and the music box.
Yeah, and at this point, she sees Lucas heading out, so she goes out, and Lucas just basically tells her everything, just basically like you just said 5 minutes ago. Yeah. It always starts off personal of why you want to succeed on something big. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to be president? Yeah, start it off because somebody probably fucked you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, whether political or personal. Somebody fucked you, he's like, you know what? Fuck y'all. This is what I'm going to do. And basically, Lucas throws around, and he is just like, come on, bro. Like, you see what we're doing? Come on, this shit is unnatural. Yeah. Like, let's be real, bro. I was a part of the club because I thought y'all were playing. You know what I'm saying? You know, when y'all killed that bunny, I was like, okay, maybe they're a little bit too into it. But when you killed that other person, shit's getting a little bit too real. Yes. She basically leaves, and she goes back into it. You know, she meets Emma, like you said. And then she gives an entire speech. She says, hey, it's time. Yep. We're about to do this.
The brother even asked, where's Lucas? The other brother, you know, like he left. He's not down.
And one thing that Lucas does mention was, you're about to sacrifice all these people. And I peeped that. I was like, holy shit, did they? Because obviously we know that the mansion burned. And I was like, really, as no one can see how.
Look, we know the Visser burnt. Yeah, we knew the mansion burnt. So it's just like, okay,
damn, all those souls you needed to basically contribute, you know, to Kalego. Unfortunately, walking down, I didn't write at all what Ira said. It was a little bit too long at this point, but she starts the process. And she's starting to speak in another language. Yeah. She pours blood over the statue.
They put on masks.
They all put on masks with that same symbol that Melanie saw in the beginning when she was walking into the building. That symbol looks weird. Right. Yeah, they all have the symbol. And she basically says in this other language that, hey, Kalego, we need you to come down, holler at us for a minute. But what we want you to do with Rose, we got her as a vessel.
This is when you see Mark and Dan watching at this point.
Yeah, because it does flip to black and white for a moment, and then it goes back into how we are viewed.
Right.
And she basically, for all intents and purposes, kills Rose. You know, she quickly gets the knife. She slits Rose's throat. Kalego, from what we see, appears as a cosmic, like, you know what I'm saying, for a god like this. I was waiting for something scary to appear, it appears as like a blue orb surrounding on the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, is this Vigo?
Then we go he's stupid.
I got you.
No one's gonna get that. Comment if you get that.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Happy New Year on that. I give it to you. That was, what were you about to say?
I don't know now. You keep cutting me off. No, this is when it goes to Dan and Mark watching as the lights appearing, and then that's when the tape messes up, and that's the last we see.
So at this point, Mark is like, yeah, we need to let this shit go. He's just like, yeah. And Dan is just like, no. We need to see if anybody survived from the Visser. You know, my father's name is at stake. We know that supposedly Melanie is dead. So who can be alive?
Exactly.
And Dan thinks about Annabelle.
Right.
Mark is reluctant. He doesn't want to do it. He's just like, bro, I'm with Mark at this point. Like, bro, we ain't about this life. Like, you clearly saw some shit, the same thing that Bello saw.
But the thing is, you know he's invested because his father was involved. That's number one.
Terrified at this point. So now we are acknowledging that there is a fucking demigod or whatever the fuck is happening.
Something.
And like you said, Dan is just like, man, I got to clear my father's name, at least for me.
And the same thing about, and he's thinking about Melody too. You know what I mean? Because he's still seeing her visions. She's calling him. You know what I mean? That's the crazy part.
Man, and so Mark is just like, hey, Annabelle got last name. And she says the most hilarious thing in the whole series. I bust out, start laughing. Cho. Like the Seinfeld episode. Like, oh, I was believing you because you were Asian. What? And
apparently she's half or something.
Yeah, and
her real last name is Chan. So
well, all right. So we find Annabelle, and
apparently
she is
still at the Rockford Mental Institute,
just like old girl in Final Destination. Yeah, and locked up and ready too. And she's just like, I've been waiting.
Right. She opens the door like, "Where are you, Dan? Where have you been?"
Yeah,
well, no, what took you so long? That's what she said.
Apparently, Melanie is in the other world.
Right. Annabelle's been painting Melody now, over and over on the walls. They say they won't give me paper no more, so I just be drawing on the walls now, and it's Melody, but she doesn't know why.
Yeah.
But Dan tells her that she's stuck on the other side. That's why,
And the episode ends, so I'm just left with more questions at this point with one episode to go, because I mean, we know we're in 2022. We found out, I even text you, Archive 81 has canceled for a season 2 on Netflix. It could be, who knows?
Someone else might pick it up.
Somebody else may pick it up. But with that said, I would assume that they were going to wrap up season 1 anyways. Certain questions will be answered. But I'm at this point like, how? One episode left. Can you answer? Can you please me? I guess I can say. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Open-ended questions.
Of course.
For yourself, discussion. Hell, we could probably, after episode 8, have an after review and talk about what we think. But I'm just like, brother, how? You know what I'm saying? Don't say shit.
Oh, you'll see.
But yeah, it's just interesting. I was just like, man, okay, we finna wrap this up. Okay, so somehow Dan's gonna have to go to the other world to rescue Melody. And I still want to find out what happened to Jess. I still want to find out why the people took Melody. Yeah. Like, that's a lot of stuff to happen. Yeah. Like, I'm hoping this finale is an hour and a half, because I ain't looked at the time.
It's an hour. It's about 50 something.
Okay, I was just about to say, bro, if I look at that shit's 39 minutes,
I'd be mad at
I'll be like, bro, I'm going to call you even before I push play. But anyways, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
We are the Carbonation Conversation. Thank you for listening, as always, and all that good shit. We love you.
See.
Peace.